Hey y'all, just as a quick heads up, this is all working off of information I had when I quit the game. So, if there's some stuff that seems like it's a little bit out of date and you feel the need to like correct me, just know that this is around like June I got all this information at, so just if you need to correct me, do it. YouTube. And what? Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those recording sessions, ain't it? Do it, I'm just a little bit out. I might just be a little bit out of date with my numbers. Why did I drop Helldivers 2? Technically, it's a very simple answer. I'm gonna play long. But Helldivers 2, when I played it, was a fantastic game. I lost days of my goddamn life to this game. So, if I lost so much, that kind of begs the question. Why did I drop it? Was it simply that I had my fill of the game and moved on to other experiences? Or did another game come along that took my time away from Helldivers 2 and I simply never came back? Yeah, let's face it. You wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, and none of this would be happening if it was that simple. Let's dive in one last time. Shall we, gents? And ladies, you can come along too. So, according to Steam, last time I played Helldivers 2 before getting footage for this video was the 1st of June 2024, and I had put around 150 hours into the game. Now, this may seem like a lot or not, depending on what kind of a player you are, but let's just say this would have been a lot more if I didn't see through the veil of gameplay and business. What the hell does that mean? So, without mincing words, the progression system in place has the ability to completely lock you out of the progression system. I wish I was kidding. It also makes every single mission you go on completely worthless outside of grabbing literal mushrooms in the middle of the war zone. Yes, that does in fact sound really stupid. How in the hell can that even happen? Well, why don't I take you through the core gameplay loop and we'll see if you catch on to it before I hit the big reveal, shall we? So, Helldivers 2 has this really fun thing called war. And you as a player love some war. So much so that everyone in the known universe seems to be all about this galactic war. A big fight featuring everybody's two favorite Dynasty Warriors rejects known as the Bugs, otherwise called the Termini. Yeah, you get this. You didn't click on a video to hear about how some D-lister is done with Helldivers 2 without knowing some basics. I hope. Anyways, where was I in this fucking script? Right, here we go. Your main goal as a new recruit of the Helldivers is to drop into a circular map, complete as many objectives as humanly possible, and then attempt to escape. By doing various objectives throughout the map, you are rewarded with medals! Yay! These medals can be used in the shop to buy weapons, gear, and, recently, cosmetics for your equipment. With these new medals, you're able to go back out there, take on harder missions, get more medals to get better gear, and rinse and repeat until you're satisfied. Or you get everything. A very solid gameplay loop that has existed for hundreds of thousands of games from Metroid to Metro. I haven't played Metro, don't quote me on that. It's fine, we don't need to worry. So that begs the question. If it's so common, what did Helldivers 2 do to this core loop to make me drop it completely? So there's this little hitch in the core gameplay loop. You see, it's trying to be a perfect circle that goes for as long as you have the gas to play it. However, there's one little blue-colored hitch. It has gone and turned this entire circle off kilter slightly and is now just an infinite spiral. And hey, gameplay spirals can be fun too. Sometimes it's just really, really fun to go down on this really deep and intense spiral, going down deeper into the abyss of gameplay where you're not quite sure where it ends. It stopped. It just stopped. You don't get, it's done. You don't get anything. It's fucking gone. Where did it go? All right. I have beaten around the bush long enough. Let's talk about this big blue elephant in the room. The big reason I quit Helldivers 2 was the microtransactions, and their implementation into the core gameplay loop caused progression to stop so badly, I thought my game was bugged for several days before I realized what had happened. Title rolls off the fucking tongue now, doesn't it? Okay, so there's this ever important detail I left out when talking about the core loop. You see, all the core player unlocks like armor, guns, were found in these war bonds. And just so we don't get lost in the terminology, I'm gonna cut the BS and call them battle passes. On these battle passes, you spend your medals you get from completing missions to get the aforementioned core player unlocks, and this normally wouldn't be such a bad thing. Until you take into account that, you also need to unlock the battle passes. The battle passes don't actually unlock from regular currency, or any secondary currency you would use for getting your stratagems. Listen, I'm just going to assume you know what these are or are smart enough to put 2 and 2 together on this one. Okay? Thank you. In fact, the only way to unlock a battle pass is to use their premium currency called super credits. How do you get super credits? Well, you can either get really lucky and find small amounts of them in a mission, or, yeah, you know where this is going. You can purchase super credits for real money. All right, so let's do some very quick math here. Battle passes are about 1,000 super credits each. And to get 1,000 super credits, you would need to spend about $10 USD per battle pass. For a while, they were releasing these things like once a month. So if you didn't find the super credits or decide to spend your already existing super credits on something like a helmet, you were about to run face first into the fact that, hey, what happens when I complete my battle passes and I'm just waiting to get more super credits to buy another one? Well, you do what I did, and you realize, well, this kinda sucks, but I sucked it up and just kept playing the mission, getting those medals so that when I did get enough super credits, I'd be able to just dunk them all in at one time, get a bunch of stuff, get real started on that, and it's like, hey, this is really fun, I'm doing it, I can't wait to dunk all this stuff. Why does my mission complete screen say 0? No, seriously. Why does completing a mission say I'm not getting anything? Oh, no, wait, I've had this bug before. When the servers were too full, the game couldn't register all the information going on at any given time, and I'll just have to come back tomorrow and everything will be caught up. Tomorrow. It wasn't a bug. I really am not earning anything for mission completion anymore. Hell, I don't even know if I'm getting these medals and the game isn't just displaying them. It doesn't matter because I can't spend them on anything anyway. I'm literally locked into a hell of Arrowhead's creation, making it where the only thing I can do is spend money or get out there and spend hours farming up the remaining super credits I need to get back onto the treadmill, and even when I do, the currency will be back to 0, meaning I'll have to grind even longer next time! And you know what? That's fine. I am a strong, independent gamer. I don't need no incentives to play a video game I had fun with. In fact, it might be liberating. Let's just see what this game has to offer now that I am free from the shackles of the Battle Pass system. Let's see what Helldivers 2 has to offer now that I'm free from progression. Helldivers 2 is just kind of boring. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's only so many times I can dunk a grenade into the same bot fabricators or bug holes before I just gotta pack it up. The game stopped being goofy and funny after like 20 hours in, and I had finished my experimentation. Wasn't really getting any new tools to play with, you know, aside from the mechs, which were fun. Until it gets stepped on and then goes for a literal 10-minute cooldown, and oh, well, you only have 2 because getting a third out in your 30-minute mission is probably too fun. What was I talking about? Oh, right. Why does every single mission in Helldivers feel like I'm playing a flowchart? You know what? Let's go make the flowchart right now! This isn't exactly 100% accurate, but it's close enough to make the point. For all the different objectives, the multitude of guns and stratagems, you're pretty much playing every single mission the exact same way, no matter if it's bugs or bots. You drop in, get your gear sorted, start shooting, make your way from one objective to another. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Some timeless games like Left 4 Dead do this run and gun thing to legendary status. So, what's the difference? Well, Left 4 Dead is a linear series of challenges paced out by the dev team so that every level feels unique in its own right. Looking over at Helldivers 2, we have the issue where after 10 missions, the formula is very obvious, and you can even start to see the formula in other factions, even when you haven't played it. Now, this can be a bit of a double-edged sword, as on the one hand, you don't actually need to teach a whole new victory condition for another faction. On the other hand, the formula starts to feel very familiar, to the point you realize the game has no stealth missions, no assassination missions where you hunt down a specific enemy, no intel gathering, no vehicle missions, no payload, not even something as simple as capture the flag. They don't even have multi-faction battles. This to me was Helldivers' biggest sin. And ultimately what made me stop playing. Like, sure, I could farm out enough super credits to get back on the treadmill, but then what? Promise of more of the same gameplay that I'm becoming so disenfranchised with? Even the thought of spending just 2 hours farming out the resources I needed made me want to do other things. The worst part is, they can actually do interesting stuff with the formula. They just need to force players into different scenarios. Like, here. Let me tell you about the most fun and tense encounter I have ever had in this game. Dear God, I wish I had the footage to put it on screen. So I usually like to run solo missions on the highest difficulty available. So this mission was the long-form escort mission. This wasn't the one where it's just constant waves of enemies spawning from dropships or under the ground to kill your survivors. Ugh. Fuck that mission. I had a few runs where it was just kind of calm. No bots were spawning, and I thought, hey, this is gonna be a free mission. Until in the distance, I heard it. The telltale chant of a bot patrol. I had time on the clock to spare, but not a lot of lives left. So I did what any insane individual would do. I used the game's stealth mechanics. They were just a patrol, so if I laid low, I could let them pass and then get back to escorting people onto the ship. I'll say, waiting for them to pass was one of the most tense single minutes I have ever felt in this game. But dear God, it felt so rewarding being able to attempt to complete an objective without causing a firefight. Unfortunately for me, it wouldn't be that easy. 'Cause, wouldn't you know it, several more patrols came crawling out of the woodwork to make my stealth attempt a living hell. But I had a few things they didn't. Like directional audio to figure out when it was safe to crawl and where it was safe to crawl to. It was so very tense. But it was also one of the most fun I have ever had in Helldivers, which really only made the other missions feel more lackluster, because if I did my best to stealth through them, the second I started the objective, boom! Dropship, right on my location. No one summoned it, it just appeared. So if you take away anything from this video, let it be this. I don't speak for everyone, and I definitely don't speak for the Helldivers core audience. Not anymore. However, I did enjoy the game at once. I enjoyed it a ton. It was a series of core system problems that pushed me away. And if I'm the only one, that'd be great. But I doubt I am. Even if people can't articulate it, I know they can feel it. Everyone has their limits, and I hit mine. Even the moment you add a new faction, I'd run into the exact same issues I had before. Helldivers is a band-aid on a broken leg. And at this point, it would take a miracle to bring me back. So, legitimately, I'm just gonna do something fun here and do a bit of like armchair game dev and rapid fire some ideas I've thought about that seem really fun. Fucking hand, why are you like this? Number 1, have fun with your equipment. Being hyper stringent with people's gear is gonna get a little boring. So in honor of all the Metal Gear style, my God, why can I not say Metal Gear style stealth? What is wrong with me? So in honor of all the Metal Gear style stealth talk, let's take Metal Gear Solid V's box slide and give it to the Riot Shield. Let's turn the Riot Shield into a dive machine for movement. Let people slide down hills like it's a fucking skateboard. Have the ability to throw it like you're Captain America, except when you miss, you gotta walk your ass over and pick it up. In fact, screw it. If you have the jetpack and the Riot Shield, let it give you a boost of ground movement. And speaking of wearing 2 back utilities simultaneously, get rid of the slot limit and let people equip whatever they want in those 3 slots. In other words, if I want to equip 2 riot shields and a grenade to turn myself into a projectile, let me do stupid things. Or, if I want to do something a bit more low-key, like equipping 3 different primary shotguns on my person, I should be allowed to make this mistake. Maybe I just want grenades. Like, maybe I really, really want to just have as many grenade types as humanly possible. By removing people's slot limits on what they can and can't bring into a mission, you will improve player expression by a boatload. 3, let me equip the stratagem weapons from drops onto my Helldiver on the first drop. So this is more of an extension of the last one, but make me as slow as you want, but I want to be able to equip a railgun, a flamethrower, and an anti-material rifle, and I should be allowed to live with my mistakes. Let's be real, this would also help with the issue that every single dive needs a rocket launcher of some description, since now, you are no longer limited to one slot for heavy weapons. 4. Give stratagems support equipment. I will take any sort of debuff if it means I can actually repair and reload the mech. If I need to lose a slot to do this stuff, I'll take it. Let me specialize into a unique playstyle that I can craft for myself. If I want to call down ship ordnances at a reduced cooldown, let me do that at the cost of something else. If I want to equip every single support backpack to become the ultimate pack mule diver, let me rock that shit. Let me play as a sneaky Solid Snake, and the Solid Snake who can pilot a Metal Gear level of variety here. Alternative success conditions. So every single outpost in the game is defeated by the same basketball skills or high yield explosives. So what if you could sneak your way into a base without any bot noticing, hack them so that instead of spawning bots, they spawned ammo or vehicles for you to use? And then, for the bugs, you could have something like grabbing pheromones so you could recruit bugs to your own cause or change the allegiance of bug holes. It's gonna be an ant war! Number 6. Give people the ability to see what threats are in a mission before they dive. Letting people know that there are gunship towers in a mission before they go in is probably the single best thing you can do for the current mission structure. But I want to get crazy, so let's not stop there. I want an entire scanning system in place that will not only scan enemies into codexes. Codices? Codexes. Codexes. Scan them into an enemy database. This will tell you more about the enemies and what they can do. But it could even give the scanning a useful tool where it builds a bar over a planet where it could show every single player in the war what threats are exactly in each mission. Have some fun with it. Just let me know what I'm in for before I'm doing it. If Monster Hunter can tell me what monsters are in a mission before I go into it, why can't you? All right. I'm done for now. These were just some specific ideas I had, but they all revolve around one core idea, and that's to make every single mission more dynamic. Helldivers 2 has a very odd obsession with meeting the player halfway when expressing themselves, but then forcing you into the same situation and playstyle. Then if you don't play the game their way, they just fucking kill you. And then when you're out of your 5 to 20 lives, they boot you back to your ship. Even if none of my ideas ever make it close to anything involving Arrowhead, I want the core idea of this video to fester within the community of Helldivers. Giving gear multiple purposes and a much higher skill ceiling than just hitting the button and watching it do the thing. We don't need to go full Hellhawk Pro Diver 2, but giving subtle ways to both move around and interact with the map would go a long way in injecting life into these planets. So, while I stopped playing Helldivers 2 on some pretty poor terms, I did enjoy my time with the game. I loved what I played. It's just a shame I couldn't move on a more favorable mood. The game was fun while it lasted, but the reasons I enjoyed the game were clearly not what the devs wanted to push. And if they did want to push them, they got locked behind battle passes, and I couldn't afford that without making the game my job or using my job to supplement the game. Honestly, I think the most unfortunate thing about this whole situation is that this is a wall any single player can run into. No matter if you're a basic diver or a super citizen, you can get locked out of all progression, even if you still have things left to do. Unlike other live service games, no matter how much time passes, unless something drastic changes, I'm still stuck here. No rewards to gain, the losses will feel heavy, and the successes will only ever be hollow. I like you, Helldivers, but with no meat to chew on, I'll have to move elsewhere to find that desired meat. I'm hungry. Oh yeah, okay, one thing. Also, can you add a shooting range or something to test out my weapons on? If Death Stranding can let me test my guns in a safe environment, why can't the war game? I have a better understanding of what my weapons do in a game about being a mailman than I do in a game about war. What is going on here?